Alright, good day YouTube. Today we are going to talk about a game I've just purchased. It is none other than Oblivion Remastered. I'm a little slow into the game. I know this particular one has been released a while back and it's now quickly climbing up the sales charts. I believe right now Oblivion Remastered is the third best selling game in 2025, just behind Assassin's Creed as well as Monster Hunter's World. Now, why do I have some hesitation and apprehension towards buying this game? Some 19 years ago, I played Oblivion in 2006 and it was really mind-blowing. It will always hold a very special place in my heart. And I always hesitate when I play remakes and remasters because a disappointing experience would somehow stain the very beautiful memories that I have of this game. But after hearing all the good reviews and reading about it, I've decided to go in so I can make more content for my channel playing this game because it is somewhat Elder Scrolls related, right? And right off the bat, I must say that the intro is really on fire, literally. There's a really beautiful introduction and I'm really stoked just looking at this. And a lot of memories started flooding back with the cinematics. The music coming in really raised the goosebumps. You get to see Cyrodiil in all its glory. And I could really remember what it was like 19 years ago when I watched this. Pretty much the same. I spent a really long time trying to customize the features of my character as I did before. There are like so many things you can tweak and adjust to the facial features of the characters, but one criticism that I have is that although you can tweak the facial features slightly here and there, but there doesn't seem to be some mechanisms for me to make bigger wholesale changes to make, for example, my character look a little prettier if I were to choose a Breathlin, which I did in this case. I'm pretty much stuck with the same kind of mold and I can only make just microscopic adjustments of the eyebrow, the chin and the lips, and I cannot really make her look like, for example, Keira Knightley or something like that. I end up looking like some beta half-mixed Scarlett Johansson. But anyway, moving on, after I got my character done, I would then proceed with the gameplay. And I would say Oblivion has a really good starting tutorial. It's very beautifully interwoven with the story where you are a prisoner in a dungeon and you are sort of like the chosen one. The emperor who is about to meet his end recognizes you as the chosen prophesied one and passed on a very important artifact to you while you wander around the dungeon together with him, and you get to kill some rats and some goblins, and this will allow the tutorial to just kind of ease and aid you into the combat mechanisms of the game, right? Well, as you can see, very quickly I decided to choose a outlandish attire that would men of culture can really respond to, and I would probably stick to this bikini Breathlin kind of costume concept ongoing. Since I am the salty naughty sorcerer, I would definitely play as a mage and I would definitely be using a lot of spells at some point, which is why I quick slot some of these spells into a sort of like the ESO toolbar, very very similar to the quick slot mechanism that we have in ESO, right? And I remembered very fondly that I played sort of like a Nightblade-like character 19 years ago, and I think I will probably do the same. I'm going to upgrade my sneak to the maximum level, and essentially I can just take out my opponents with one attack. And this makes gameplay very, very easy, very fluid, very beginner-friendly, especially when you're creeping around the dungeons and into the gates of Oblivion, right? Now, if you're an ESO player, it's very quick to see the similarities between this game and the MMO. Okay, I think it's because ESO was a game that came out in 2014 and had maybe 4 to 5 years of development. During that time, Skyrim hasn't necessarily been released officially yet, so I think a lot of the earlier design cues and some of the decisions that go into the game was actually based more on Oblivion. So you're going to start to see a lot of similarities in terms of architecture, game design, game mechanics, and just the general look of the game itself. I didn't realize this as pertinently as I did now, whereas when I was playing ESO earlier on, right? I was like feeling, how come ESO feels so familiar? Yeah, I thought it might have been Skyrim, and now revisiting Oblivion, it becomes crystal clear how just closely tied these two games are. They are like basically based off from the same DNA. Combat mechanics, I would say, is quite janky and quite wonky. It really shows its age, but in a certain way it's also charming, because it brings back a lot of nostalgia, and all this clumsy swinging of the sword arm to take out enemies and so on and so forth. It's not really a problem for me, right? Now, the open world in Cyrodiil is absolutely beautiful. It really brings back a lot of good memories. Also, it does remind me a lot of ESO Cyrodiil itself, right? I mean, they're all based off the same design. And just wandering out there, looking at the mountains in the distance, looking at the Imperial City itself from a distance is pretty overwhelming. I would say this remaster did one heck of a job making the visuals look good. I'm not so particular about the graphical fidelity. With my current system, I'm using a RTX 3070 with 24 gigs of a VRAM. I'm not able to actually push the game to the ultra setting without suffering some drop in the frame rate. So I'm sticking to just the setting that's before ultra. I believe is like good or something, right? And it is actually pretty good enough for me. I don't need this particular RPG to look realistic. I just need this world to be immersive, and Oblivion will offer plenty of that. Back in the day, in 2006, RPGs in general just have NPCs standing around like wax figures. Oblivion was kind of like the game changer where it actually introduces scheduling for all your NPCs. They have certain routines that they abide by. If you go and look for this particular farmer at night, he'll be sleeping in his room. If you were to look for him in the morning, he'll be traveling to work. In the afternoon, he'll be in the farms doing his usual stuff. So these paints a very realistic picture within the game world itself, and that's very much appreciated. There are also a lot of similar features like the Ayid Wells, the forts, dungeons and dwells and stuff like that that you can explore within this open world, which I definitely will. I think ESO players, if you're tired of the MMO, coming back to this game, bread and butter, where it's a very immersive, well-designed, well-thought-of world, it would give you some reward and some value if you were to play this. Highly recommended. I thought the nostalgia factor would not be as great as it currently is. I'm really enjoying this game. I'll be wandering around the area in my bikini-clad Breton and just slaying enemies and trying to upgrade my destructive skills as well as my sneaking skills before I embark on the main quest itself. I'm going to be taking my time with this game, right? And I'll be producing content along the way, so do stick around. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that I in some way managed to aid you and convince you a little bit closer to get this game if you have not. I see you in the next video, guys. Thank you and goodbye.